more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is The Show with John Madsen.
Welcome back to The Show, everybody. I'm your host, John Madsen. This is The Show. Welcome to another episode, and thank you for all of your support. I've gotten a lot of feedback from the last two episodes where I go off on the coronavirus and what's happening. Today, we are going to look at it from a different lens. We're still going to talk about what's going on in the world, but we're going to do so in terms of fitness and the fitness industry. So this episode is going to serve two purposes. One, to let you in on the happening of the whole fitness industry right now. And two, what you need to do to get into incredible shape right now over the next 90 days. That's what we're going to talk about today. You guys know that I've been in the fitness industry for about a decade now. Overnight, across America and across the globe, gyms have been mandated to shut down. There's been all types of stuff that's happened and have gone on. But what that means in the industry is that gym owners, personal trainers, everybody in the fitness industry who have relied on providing a service, an in-person service, has had to make a choice. Either go virtual or get the fuck out of the business. And we don't know how long this thing's going to last. Hopefully it lifts and in a week or two, everything's back to normal. But I think you guys and I are smart enough to realize that this is going to be longer than that. So for me personally, I shut down my in-person gym. Over the past year and a half, I've built up a substantial online virtual program. And so when all of this happened, it was a really easy thing for me to just take my in-person, maneuver all of them into the virtual program, and everything's kind of fine. But a lot of my friends, a lot of gym owners, thousands of gym owners overnight had to go out of business. They had to go out of business because they weren't prepared. They didn't have any cash flow to float payroll. And this isn't just the fitness industry. This is a ton of other industries as well. But as soon as gyms shut down, people cancel contracts. When people cancel contracts, gym owners can't pay rent, they can't pay staff, and they're gone. And they're already gone. So this is just the first wave. This is people that fucking couldn't even weather the first 2 weeks. It was like, you got to shut down, fuck it, I'm out of business. And think about that in terms of any other industry or any other mindset. Like the first sign of adversity, fuck it, I'm out. These motherfuckers didn't want their business in the first place, right? They were struggling so bad beforehand that this happened and it just wiped them out. And I feel for them. Being in business is hard. Like this is something that in my lifetime in business, I've never had to go through. In the last economic crash, I was still in the NFL. It didn't really affect me at all. So this is the first time I've been an entrepreneur, a business person that has to navigate through really, really, really uncertain times. And in the last episode, I talked about people making it like having a perfect excuse to get the fuck out of something they don't want. But what that means for a normal person now, you have all the gyms shut down, personal trainers pretty much out of business. Their only choice is to get out of the fitness industry or start offering their services in an online format. Workouts at home, because now most people have to work out at home. So now as I scroll through Facebook and I scroll through Instagram, what I see is everybody posting at-home workout programs. Everybody posting at-home workout programs, which is awesome. It's great value. Some fitness influencers that know their shit posting at-home workouts. That's awesome. And then we got a whole bunch of people that don't really know anything about fitness, but are just trying to stay active. And that's awesome too. Because what do humans do anyways? Even if the pandemic wasn't here, what would they do? What do 95% of people do? Well, it's a known fact that they either A, seduce themselves and numb themselves to the real working of what is absolutely necessary for them to succeed. They'd rather sedate themselves with food or alcohol or drugs or Netflix or whatever. Or B, distraction. So they're either going to sedate, and I don't know if I said seduce, I meant sedate. Sedation would be what I meant to say in the beginning. They're either going to sedate themselves with food or drugs or alcohol or Netflix, or they're going to distract themselves with much of the same things. And if you think about just ordinary people living their ordinary lives, sedation and distraction. Sedation and distraction. In many of my first episodes, I talk about how 95% of what people do is just a loop, is just a pattern, is just an unconscious pattern. And now you're taking everybody out of the workforce and 90% of the people are working from home. The kids are out of school, they have to be at home, and everybody is doing this quarantine thing. And mental health is going to take a hit. This is just the beginning. People are having to stay in, they cannot go out, and now they have to make choices. Which sedation tactic, which distraction tactic am I going to use today? And you see this on your Facebook feed. Hey, what show should I watch? I need a new show. What should I be doing when I'm at home? And they're doing every fucking thing in the world to sedate or distract themselves from the real work. But the problem with that is when all this is said and done, there's going to be winners and there's going to be a lot of losers. And the winners are going to control their attitude and their focus, and they're going to control what they choose to do and how they choose to spend their time. And for me personally, to stay mentally sharp, I don't think there has ever been a better time to get into the most ridiculous shape you've ever been in your entire life. So going back to all the fitness influencers, all the gym people who are now posting at-home workouts for free, now people all over the country can scroll through their Instagram feed or their Facebook feed and see whoever they want doing an at-home bodyweight workout. They can either choose to do it or not to do it. And one of the questions that I got asked, and this is where I'm going to address what I believe in and what you should do, is, John, why aren't you posting free at-home workouts for people to do? And here's the answer. I applaud everybody who's trying to help everybody else. But I'm not in the business of just providing stuff for the sake of providing stuff. What I do is transform a person. What I think is most important right now is to have a worthy goal worth pursuing. I don't start with workouts. You see, the people can now use workouts as a distraction, and it's a better distraction than eating a bag of potato chips and sitting on the couch. But 99% of the people that's going to scroll through Instagram and watch one of the free workouts are going to do it one time and be like, oh, that was cool. That was an awesome 30 minutes. Maybe I'll tune in next time. Maybe I'll tune in next time. And 99% of them might last 2 days. They might last a week. They might last 2 weeks. But what about when it gets hard? You see, I don't start working with a person until I have an unbreakable commitment. I don't start with the workout because the workout is going to be 10% of the result. You can do all the fucking workouts that you see on Instagram right now. You can do all of them. You can keep following along. And again, that is way better than sitting and watching Netflix. But if you don't do the other stuff that's necessary to get the ultimate outcome, I'm just not that interested. I'm just not that interested in providing stuff without the context and the depth that it's going to take to actually transform somebody. If you want to change, and now there's never been a better time to change, then exercise daily is important, but the more important part of it is the nutritional aspect. What exactly are you going to eat, and in what amount are you going to eat for your specific body? That's going to drive fat loss. And more importantly than even that is the mindset and the dedication and the commitment that now, in the hardest of times, amidst the most chaos, is the time to get in the most fucking ridiculous shape you've ever been in. Is it possible? And the answer is absolutely, undeniably, yes. Is it going to be hard to stack muscle if you don't have access to barbells and squat racks and heavy weights and all you have to do and all you can do is body weight? Yes. Yes. But most people, almost everybody that I work with in the beginning has way too much fat on their bodies. So over the next 90 days, a fat loss phase with body weight only workouts, because that's all you have. If you have a kettlebell and some bands, even better. But almost every single person, male and female, has excess fat on their bodies. There's no better time than right now to say, damn, I'm going to shed all of this fat. All of it. All of it. And inevitably, 3 months, 4 months, when gyms start opening back up and you have access to the equipment that you used to have, then you can go in there and concentrate on building muscle. But the problem anyways is that most people go to the gym and they don't really know what they're doing. They're exercising. They're doing exercise. Maybe they're even training, but they're trying to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. They're watching what they eat, but they have no real awareness of what it's going to take. So the point I'm trying to make is that fitness, if it's important to you right now, and I can't imagine it not being, because what other choices do you have to do stuff, right? We talked about sedation and distraction. You might as well distract yourself with something that's going to benefit you. But if you're going to do it and it's going to stick, you're going to have to see some results. So by doing a bunch of fucking jumping jacks and planks and running in place and burpees and push-ups, if you look in the mirror 3 weeks from now and you don't see any change, you're going to stop. That's the one thing I know is a fact from a coaching perspective. If you don't get results, you're going to stop. So it's more than just exercising for 30 minutes. Yes, do that. But what I want is people who want to completely transform in 90 days, because when June comes or July comes and this shit is over, which it's going to be, you're going to walk out of the fucking house and you're going to be a fucking warrior, and people are going to be like, damn, how did you do that? Because everybody else is going to have a story. And this is what their story is going to sound like. Yeah, man, in 2020, I had these fitness goals. I went to the gym for like 2 months straight, man. I was doing good. I was watching what I ate. I had lost like 20 pounds. And then the fucking coronavirus. And my gym shut down, and then I couldn't get food. I went to the store and there was no chicken left. And the coronavirus for the last 3 months, man, I didn't do anything. I started to do some body weight workouts, but I just really wasn't motivated. And the 20 pounds that I lost, I gained it all back plus 10. Fuck, man, that coronavirus really fucked me up. That's the story 99% of you are going to tell. You're going to blame it. You're going to blame your piss poor shape physically on coronavirus, an event external from you. But then there's going to be 1%, the people who I actually work with, who say, no, fuck that, man. Like, I'm taking this time and I'm going all the way. I'm going to shed all the excess fat off my body. When summer comes, people's going to be like, damn, didn't you realize there was a coronavirus outbreak? What happened, man? Like, how do you look like that? And what I'm trying to get at is it's not just the workouts you're seeing on Facebook and Instagram. Like, it's everything. And it starts with the thought. It starts with the mindset. Goes all the way back to my fundamental teaching. Everybody's posting workouts because they're trying to slap a Band-Aid on an outcome. You can't fix a problem by trying to fix the outcome. You have to fix the problem at the level of thought that created the problem in the first place. So when I take somebody who's like, man, I want to get in shape right now, perfect. There's never been a harder time and there's never been a better time. Why do you want to get in shape? And we got to pry the reason out of there first. But then we got to stack on the mindset and the resilience and the persistence and the consistency. And then we have to map out a plan. And then we have to get really clear on exactly what foods to eat in what amounts. And then the exercise matters. And then in 90 days, you can go from being 25 pounds overweight to seeing a six pack. You can. There's no better time than to do fat loss right now. No better time. You're at home, you have to cook. You can learn how to do nutrition the right way. You can focus on something worth focusing on. And you can avoid the sedation and the distraction by focusing on something that's going to make you better 90 days from now than make you worse. So you have a choice. You have a choice to be distracted, or you have a choice to be focused. I don't like to do fitness distracted. I have no interest in helping people do fitness distracted. That's why I don't put out at-home workouts for free on Instagram. Because it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter on the stories if you see me squatting 400 pounds or doing a bunch of jumping jacks. It doesn't matter if you want to follow along or not, because it actually doesn't matter for you. Before any of that matters, you have to fucking decide to be focused as fuck for the next 90 days. And then after that, you actually have to learn true evidence-based nutrition that can strip fat off your body and stop believing the bullshit fads. And inevitably, you have to be committed. Committed. For whatever reason you want to be committed. For me, it's I'm going to go through a ridiculous transformation. You're going to see ridiculous pictures again. Because I like to do shit when it's inconvenient. Because instead of choosing the next Netflix documentary or the next Netflix series, I'm going to get my ass into that garage gym and I'm going to go fucking hard for 90 days, no matter what happens. And then when the sun comes out and everybody is making bullshit stories about the coronavirus, I'm going to be fucking jacked and shredded like a warrior once again. And so are my people. So are my people. And so are you if you make that choice. But be careful. Don't think because you exercise for 30 minutes a day just doing some random stuff that you're going to build the body that you always wanted. That's better. That's better than doing nothing. It's your best choice. It's a good choice right now. But what I'm trying to say is that if you truly want to go all the way, you got to do it all. It's not just the exercise. It's not just the at-home program for free. It's the accountability and the decision to go all the way. And if you do that, 90 days from now, you're going to be happy you did, when 99% of people are going to regret the choices that they made by the sedation and distraction that's going to run rampant in most people. Focus your attention on something worthy of your time. Have an attitude of a champion during the hardest of times. You'll never regret that.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is The Show.